Welcome to the Sports Hangover. I'm Michael Benatar, joined alongside, in person, Jay Dog.
Mike, this is an honor. Is this the real me? Can I touch you?
This is real.
Wow, this is real life. We're in the same room. This is your new studio. We have art.
We do.
We have so many cameras. People can't see the behind the scenes here.
A lot of cameras.
This is like a thousands and thousands of dollars production going on.
We really stepped it up. We're doing our over-unders, so we had to bring out all the big guns.
That's right.
We don't usually do this. We don't usually do over-unders, but this year I'm really going all in on gambling. I told you this last year. I thought about just like quitting everything and just gambling full time.
You did say that,
Yeah.
and I think you should do it. I think now, as a father with a kid to support, is the best time to be risky and really just put yourself out there.
It is. Yeah, I agree.
Over-unders, like you said, not something we usually do, and we also don't normally record in person. So to
No.
do this like this, Mike, this is a big deal for us.
This is weird.
And this is the new studio that I've been in for the first time. I wish people could see the 360 of it. It's beautiful. There's so much technology in this one room.
We got a lot of cameras going. We even have a fourth one going just in case things go down.
4 cameras shoot. Unbelievable. Before we get into the NFC, I want to play a little game and remind you maybe where people play because it's surprising. Some of these offseason
I
moves,
know. Yeah.
they happen in March. We go into NBA playoffs that are never ending. They're actually boring this year. And now we're coming out the other end for an NFL season. And sometimes you forget.
And it's midsummer right now. So you're not paying attention. Fantasy things are starting to brew up a little bit.
You know what's been exciting? The Olympics have been exciting.
The Olympics,
Paris is on display. I've been watching so much. I love it. All right, Mike, let's get into the game. Do you know who this person plays for?
Okay.
This is a way to set up the NFC over-unders.
All right.
Maybe I'm giving it away by saying these people are in the NFC. Maybe. Let's see. Mike, do you know who Keenan Allen plays for?
Oh, my God.
I love this every time.
Right off the top of my head, I thought the Washington Commanders.
At least you got their name right.
But part of me thinks that's wrong. I'm gonna go Tennessee.
That's a really bad guess because they're not in the NFC.
They're not in the NFC.
It's the Chicago Bears. He got traded from the Chargers to the Bears before the draft. The Bears are loading up, of course, with your favorite quarterback, Caleb Williams. You've been a big supporter of his throughout our podcast.
He will fail this year, and it's already showing. I can't wait to see Hard Knocks this summer. It's going to be bad. And Keenan Allen there, it's like we haven't cared about Keenan Allen for years, and he's been in L.A. injured all the time. So
I feel like he still puts up numbers, even though I thought he was like 40 years old, but he's like 33. It's bizarre how young he is. He looks old. Runs older. Yeah. He does look older than that. Stay tuned for the Bears over-under section. Get your hot takes on Caleb Williams. I think we know where you're going. Here's one for you. DeAndre Swift. He was good on the Eagles. Used to be on the Lions back in the day. What team might he play for now?
Man, these are hard.
Are they?
Really hard.
These are skill position fantasy players. Are they hard?
I have no idea where he is right now. It was somewhere where a running back left, and I know he took the position for the running back. We talked about this towards the end of the season. Yeah. Tennessee keeps popping in my mind because Derrick Henry is gone. But I'm going to
give you a hint. Not Tennessee. They're not in the NFC.
Tennessee's on my mind. Oh my God. DeAndre Swift, great running back. He got $24 million from this team. Kind of a lot. Was it like a swap between Philly and New York?
It was a swap between Philly and someone, but he was a free agent, so he left Philly.
I don't know.
He didn't go to New York. He went to the Bears again. The Bears are loading up. Caleb Williams has so many weapons, and you're still going to go under on the Bears. I just know it. Oh, my God. So I'm setting you up for that. And my last one for the NFC, I think you might know this one based on what you just told me. Yeah. Saquon Barkley, do you know what team he plays for?
He plays on Philly, yeah.
Okay, so we went for a star at the end. Yeah. You got that one right. So good to know the Bears and Eagles loaded up a little bit as we enter our over-unders.
That's good, yeah. Where do you want to start? Because I have East lined up right now. If we want to talk East, we're talking a lot of
we're West Coast bias on this podcast.
We're going to go west.
A little west.
Okay.
I don't know. We're sitting here in L.A. The weather's getting good here. June gloom is out. July heat has rolled in.
Yes, finally.
August heat has rolled in. It's a great time of year.
What do you want to start with? I got Arizona Cardinals. 6.5 wins. Where do you put them?
I'm a Kyler Murray fan. A lot of people are not. I am going to go over on the Cardinals. Who is their head coach these days? I didn't have that in my game.
No idea. I didn't have a lot of notes on this
Gannon
one.
From the Eagles. I like Kyler Murray. I've always been a fan. I'm going over 6.5. They can win 7-8. They're not getting in the playoff.
I had under on mine. I don't believe in them enough, and I feel like the division's getting good. I know Gino's back in Seattle and everything, and we have the 49ers. I know we don't really care too much about the Rams, but I just feel like everybody's a little tier above them, and I don't think they're that good. And Kyler Murray, he was injured that one year. He came back. I don't know if he's that great. Like, he can still scramble, but where's the talent? I know Marvin Harrison Jr. is there. That's the one thing I know.
He did make it from the NFL draft. At one point, we thought he might not sign his contract. He might not do the Fanatics deal. He's there. He's in camp. I think he's a great weapon for Kyler.
So over 6.5 wins.
Over, yeah.
So that's big.
Mike, let's never talk this much about the Arizona Cardinals again.
All right. What about the Rams? Rams are at 8.5. Where do you got them?
Aaron Donald, not on my list of people who went to new teams. His new team is the farm he's working
The sofa.
Because he is retired.
Yeah,
he is retired.
Yeah.
I don't think he's on a sofa. I just feel like he's a hard worker. He's working hard somewhere.
I would take off after getting beat up for years on the defensive line.
I feel like the great thing about the D-line is you do the assaulting on the O-line.
Sure, but it's tough on your body. Look at J.J. Watt. Like, all these guys just retire, and they're like, I'm done. Like, I can't do this anymore.
J.J. Watt might come back. Didn't he say he'd come back if a certain team calls him? Is it the Texans?
He's not coming back.
We'll see. You said 8.5 is the number.
8.5.
The Rams were a playoff team last year. They almost beat the Lions in that playoff game.
Yeah.
They didn't. Stafford played well. Now Stafford wants a new contract. I'm hearing bad reports out of L.A. right down the road here. Under on the Rams. I think this is a bad year. Stafford might get hurt, might not play a lot. Maybe a little rebuild without Aaron Donald.
I agree. I went under here as well.
I agree.
I will be betting all of these as well. So they're all.
This is your job for the summer. You're not working full time right now as you raise a son, and you're doing. I
have to wait until the playoffs to get paid out. So yeah, it's going to be 10 months of waiting.
Put that money away for a while.
Yeah, but I went under as well. I don't think the Rams are going to be that good. I don't think. Stafford's getting old. I don't think that trade kind of worked out between Goff and Stafford, like pretty even.
Yeah.
But I think that we got the worst part of it here in LA because Stafford's older and Stafford's going to wear down a little more.
And now he wants a new contract. The Lions gave Goff a contract. It starts with a 2. Blows my mind. I mean, you watch a guy play football and you're like, hey, he's worth $30 million. And they gave him over $200 million, which is crazy. Yeah. They have a great offense. It's like one of those things where, Mike, you're great in flag football as a quarterback. You could command the Lions offense with all those weapons.
I love it. I'm also really good at Madden.
Okay, I believe that.
I did want to say there were talks about capping the quarterback salary, just like they kind of do in the NBA, where it's like the max.
Yeah.
Which I thought was an interesting idea. I don't think they're going to do it this year, but it could be talks where they just cap it at like, hey, $200 million max for a 5-year contract or whatever it is. But I think the max would help a lot of other teams because then other positions could get paid a little better. Because right now, QBs are just getting paid out of this world.
And every quarterback makes more than the last contract signed. But it shouldn't always go that way. Like we saw with Trevor Lawrence, Tua's in the middle of it right now. Tua shouldn't get paid a big number. Jared Goff shouldn't get a big number. They're not Joe Burrow. They're not Patrick Mahomes, but they all get paid like it. I don't really understand it. So I support the quarterback theory there.
I just don't know what it would be because it would have to be fair for even teams that can't afford it all.
Right.
So it would maybe be like, are you saying $50 million a year for a guy or $100 million a year? Like, what is it? Because Patrick Mahomes is what, a billionaire now at this point?
He should be. He's worth that much to the Chiefs.
I know, but
their whole team gets arrested and he just keeps winning.
He keeps winning. He's good. All right, 49ers, 11.5 wins for the 49ers this year with my boy Brock Purdy.
We don't know the full story on the Niners roster right now. What team is Brandon Ayuk for? I can't answer that as far as this podcast just being released right now.
Brandon Ayuk supposedly will come back for the right number, and I don't think they actually don't want him.
No, but he is signed. He has to come back.
But he doesn't want to.
I know.
He doesn't
I don't
want to
think
come
contracts work that way.
He doesn't want to come back.
We'll see.
Are you going over or under on him?
What's the number?
11.5.
That's a big number to go, but they can easily go 12-5. I'm not a big Brock Purdy guy. I believe in Shanahan, and he always gets it done. They'll go 12-5. They'll cover the over there.
I like that. I went over as well. I believe in them.
No surprise. You're a Niners fan.
I really like Brock. Yeah. I think it's like sneaky. Like everybody doubts him, so you have this like little advantage. Because I think if it was I don't know, let's just say Tom Brady or somebody really good, like a quarterback, you're like, this guy's going to the Hall of Fame, or Patrick Mahomes, probably be like 13.
Mike, that's a great idea for the Niners. They should bring in Tom Brady because he's so much better than Brock Purdy in 2024.
No.
We don't know if Brady's going to be good on TV. He's about to do his first game here in a few weeks. All eyes on Brady. If he sucks in the booth like week 1 and week 2, he's going to be on an NFL team in week 6. That's going to happen.
Now, did you hear the rumblings that might be the best broadcaster of all time? Like, I heard reports saying that he might be the best ever.
There's a lot of theories about that. I don't know where they're coming from. I don't expect
Probably Brady.
I don't expect it. Greg Olsen might be the best of all time, and he got demoted.
I just don't think Brady. I've never seen him loose and like talking in a way where it's like kind of fun. Like, I don't know what style he's going to go for because we've seen different styles in the booth.
Yeah.
I always bring up Booger. Because Booger was really bad.
What a time for ESPN.
What a time. But like Booger wasn't good. Tony Romo, he's got a different style. He's like more predictable. Like I want to predict
high
what's
energy,
coming.
Uncle Jim next to him, you know.
I don't know. Tom Brady's going to be more maybe analytical, not as fun in the booth. We'll see. We barely listen anymore. Scott Hansen's our guy.
Yeah, we have Red Zone. We're with Scott Hansen. I've been hanging out with Scott Hansen a little bit this summer. I don't know if I told you that, but we're working together a little this summer. It's been great. Scott Hansen, we are Red Zone people, no doubt about it.
We love Red
So
Zone.
we don't watch much Fox, but
to wrap up the NFC West, Seattle Seahawks 7.5. Where you got them?
The Seahawks made a very under-the-radar move this offseason. One of my favorite moves.
Oh.
I don't know if you know what I'm going to say here.
I hope you're going to say the quarterback.
The quarterback position, Sam Howell. That's a great move. Under the radar. Speaking of the Commanders, you mentioned them. He was good on the Commanders, and they ran him out of town for Jalen Daniels. Maybe Daniels will be good. Maybe Daniels won't be as good as Sam Howell. Sam Howell was a high pick in like the 3rd round only 2 years ago. I think a great under-the-radar, cheap move for Seattle. Geno Smith is probably just too average to win like playoff games at this point.
But we saw some crazy games from him last season.
Like good and bad.
Yeah.
Like
he
all
fell
kinds.
asleep some games. He was there. Yeah.
A lot of turnovers, a lot of sacks. Can't scramble at all, but he makes some big plays and like he had some big comebacks.
It's true. So where are you putting him this year?
I'm going over on the Seahawks with the expectation that Sam Howell starts more games than Geno Smith. If we can make a side bet on who starts more games, I would love that for Sam Howell.
Well, they got a new coach, which I like.
Pete Carroll, you're not happy about that.
I'm not happy about it, but I think it was nice. Like some of the players, maybe DK was getting a little upset, or all these guys. So I like the new change. Okay. Maybe the system will change a little bit. He's not loyal to Geno in any way possible, so it doesn't really matter about Geno. True. It could be kind of like a Matt Flynn, Russell Wilson situation. I don't know if you remember when all that happened.
I do. They signed Matt Flynn to a lot of money, and Russell Wilson was better. This is actually very similar to that.
So also to Kirk Cousins, too.
Yeah, except Geno Smith doesn't make a lot of money. I thought they might move on from Geno Smith in the offseason, but they didn't. You're taking the over, too. I know it.
Oh, I'm definitely taking the over. 7.5 wins. I think they got it. If Sam Howell steps in, if Geno gets hurt, like at second, third game, I think Sam Howell could come in and sling that ball to DK. DK would love it.
He would love it. Tyler Lockett's still there. He's 40 years old, still so fast. It's amazing.
It's going to be great. All right, where do you want to go? I got South above, North. Where do you want to go?
The South has a team that we hate. Actually, I hate the Bucs. So let's talk about that.
All right, let's talk about the Bucs. The Bucs are at 7.5.
Okay, they paid Baker. They paid Baker a lot of money.
Baker a lot. You got $100 million, right?
Yeah. That might be okay this year. It's probably not okay like in future years. No. 7.5 is not a big bar to clear. They made the playoffs last year. But listen, the division got better. We're going to talk about the Falcons. I'm going to go under on the Bucs.
I went over on the Bucs.
I bet. You're a Bucs fan.
I just went through. This was like I have notes on some divisions that I really thought about, and then some where I'm just like, I don't care about this division that much. This was one of the divisions. There was not a lot of notes. It was over, under, over, stuff like that.
Fair. You have a whole Tampa wall over here, so it's not surprising that you went over on the Bucs win total.
Listen, I grew up in Tampa. We got the Stanley Cup up there. Tom Brady win, title town on the wall.
You're a Tom Brady guy. I forgot about that.
Yeah, I'm going over on the Bucs. I think they're feisty, and the South is never that good. Like the Panthers, they'll get 2 easy wins there.
Panthers are so bad.
They'll get 2 wins.
Can we just both agree on under? Whatever it is, you don't even have to tell me the under. Just say under.
We can just skip it.
Just say Panthers under. Whatever it is, under.
Do you want to know what it is?
No.
It's 4.5.
It's so low.
It's definitely under.
I'm still saying under.
Under, yeah. But I think Bucs are going to be good this year. I think it's going to be competitive. I don't think Kirk Cousins is going to do that well in Atlanta, especially because there's that other quarterback that might want to sneak up on his heels there.
Wait a second. Are you an anti-Raheem Morris person as a Bucs fan? Did he do wrong in Tampa?
I think they did wrong by drafting a quarterback and paying Kirk Cousins a lot of money. So I think there's going to be some issues with management and coaching. And if they're not winning, people might be out of that door quickly because what happened there is a mess, and there's no way you can go about it.
Here's a theory for you that hasn't been discussed much. What if Kirk Cousins isn't really healthy coming off his Achilles, and he can't get off his back leg and make downfield throws to guys like Drake London and Kyle Pitts? What if Michael Penix comes in this year as the better quarterback, maybe not week 1, week 5, week 6, and becomes the starter going forward?
So why pay him?
So why pay Kirk Cousins?
Why pay Kirk Cousins?
Terrible. Yeah, I'm not defending that.
Why
Terrible idea. Michael Penix might be the guy sooner than later, to your point, though. And I think the Falcons can be good with Michael Penix. He was great at Washington. He's slinging it better than some of the guys drafted. Even
do you know they also had to give up, is it like a 5th round pick, the Falcons, for
tampering with Kirk Cousins? Like, he's a guy not to tamper with. Like, not worth it, right?
No, you could have got him. If you wanted him, he was there for you.
They didn't really want him because they drafted a quarterback. The whole thing is so confusing.
It's a mess.
I'm not saying over because of their management
Wait,
style.
we didn't even talk about the Falcons. We were just talking about the Bucs.
No, I transitioned to the Falcons. I did. I'm saying over on the Falcons. Or you're saying under because of the quarterback disarray.
I also went over.
Oh, wow.
Because it is an easy division. The NFC itself with the
whole conference.
The whole conference. I feel like
realize
is easy.
that.
I don't think Dallas is very good. I don't think
Keenan Allen's in the conference now. How easy can it be?
I don't think the Giants are very good. I don't think the Bears will be very good.
That's true.
I did go over. It was 9.5. They were feisty last season, and no one there liked what was going on. Bijan didn't get the ball at all. Now Raheem is like, Bijan's getting the ball any chance he can get because he's a good player.
Which Arthur Smith is now going to make sure Pittsburgh's playmakers don't get the ball going forward. Yes. That's his specialty in that system.
So I had over on the Bucks.
Yeah.
Panthers we don't care about. And Falcons I had over, and you had under.
The Falcons I had over. The Bucks I had under. And then the Saints are the last team. They still have Derek Carr. What are they doing? What is the Saints strategy? It's like one team you can look at and you're like, I don't know what they're thinking because there's nothing going on here.
I went over. I just thought it's a mess there, but somehow they're always like right in the middle of the road team. They just kind of like figure it out. They have a quarterback, tight end, wide receiver player on the team.
Yeah.
Jameis Winston isn't there anymore.
He's not. What team is he on?
I have no idea.
That wasn't in my notes.
This is rough. This is mid-summer.
He's backing up someone.
Yes, and I think he's like
Browns?
the energy of the Yeah.
Is he on the Browns?
I think he's in the Browns. He's like the energy of the team because we never see Deshaun talk, but I've seen Jameis talk in a Browns uniform much more.
And Jameis could take over any time for Watson and be decent for like the first half of a game or so.
Yeah, Deshaun got hurt a lot, yeah.
Deshaun, that's the talk about bad contracts. Derek Carr's up there, Deshaun is up there. I'm under on the Saints. So you went in the worst division we could ever talk about, the NFC South. You took 3 teams overs?
I took 3 teams over in the NFC South.
Mike, are you sure you want to do this full time?
I also think about it like, I want to get the odds. So if people are immediately thinking this is going to be an under team, I'm like, well, there's got to be a little bit of room for an over here, right? Like if I could get 8 wins out of the Saints, which would be crazy.
Yeah.
But you never know. Like it could happen. And Derek Carr, sometimes he's good.
All right.
But most of the time he's bad.
Mike is betting on the NFC South this year. Big summer hot take from co-host Mike here.
Let's do the NFC North.
Okay.
Let's start with the Bears.
This is the opposite of the South. There's good teams. The Bears are not one of them.
The Bears are not.
The rest of the division's pretty good.
I got the Bears here at 8.5 wins currently. So this is when we were looking at it. Could have changed if something happened. Maybe we got some reports about Caleb or something.
Is he having a bad training camp? Answer yes.
Yes. But I'm going under. 2 things. Rookie QB and you don't know the system. You don't know anything going on. You got all these new wide receivers with you. He's having trouble pacing with the pace of play right now. That's what I've been reading.
I didn't know that.
A lot of trouble.
Pace of play.
Pace of play.
It's like too fast for him.
Too fast.
Wow.
He was playing college ball. We all know I don't watch college ball, but it's a mess, and I can't watch it.
Right down the road at USC.
I know. We saw him cry this year. I don't like his attitude. I don't like what's going on here. And if he's not ready to play fast ball, I'm out on him.
Listeners of ours will know we are concerned with Gen Z quarterbacks. We're concerned because they're not as tough, maybe. Everything okay over there? Liquid Death, another great drink of Gen Z. Not a sponsor yet. Hopefully they are.
Yeah, hopefully so.
Gen Z quarterbacks, they worry us because they might not be as tough as us millennials. And maybe this is a millennial bias coming in. We've seen some tough
see our receding hairlines.
Quarterbacks. Yeah, this makes us tough. Especially on all these cameras. A lot of angles to capture.
A lot of cameras to capture.
Don't look too close. The thing is, Gen Z might not be as tough. They're coming up during COVID.
Yep.
They've been isolated. They had a weird college experience in the middle of COVID. Caleb Williams has not shown to be a winner at USC, which you think if there's one place you'd win in college, it's at USC.
He wasn't a winner.
And he's shown to be emotional, as you said. Maybe some tears, maybe some high emotions. Maybe that's not going to be good. For stability, it's a long rant on the Bears, but I'm with you. I'm under. He's got a ton of weapons. I love the Rome Odunze pick for them. I like Keenan Allen going there. DeAndre Swift is probably old, but he's decent. I think Caleb Williams will be the one who drags them down under that win total.
I think the Bears just like emotional quarterbacks because remember like Jay Cutler would just be pissed
Very
all
emotional.
the time.
Highly emotional.
Yeah.
Remember when he did announcing in the booth for like a year and he was pretty good and then he disappeared? What was that about?
I think he was over it. It's like, why do it?
The same emotions he had on the field.
It's crazy that these guys come out and they're like, they've made $150 million in their last like 5 years of playing football. And then they're like, yeah, I want to go do more work. It's like, you got $150 million. Go get a farm, chill, watch football on Sundays. Like,
I know.
Enjoy it.
Tom Brady's the best example of that. What are you doing working still?
Well, he's got no family anymore, so he's bored.
We learned at the roast. They might not like him.
All right, so I have under. You have over.
I went under on the Bears.
Under on the Bears.
Yeah, for sure.
Detroit Lions, 10.5 wins.
It's a loaded roster. They went to the NFC Championship game. They could have beat the Niners in that game, right?
Yeah.
It was a close game.
It was close,
a one-possession game in San Francisco. I love the roster. I don't love the quarterback. And for that reason, I'm going under on the Lions. Maybe they win 9 or 10, which is still a playoff season. 11 is a lot to win in that division.
The only note I had here was I am going under as well.
Nice.
But tough schedule. When you're playing a lot of good teams this year and you were good last year because you played a lot of bad teams, things might change a little. So I'm going under here.
Yeah.
It could be just 10 wins. They could just win 10 wins, and then I'll be holding my breath the entire season. Hope they lose the last 7.
Yeah.
But we'll see. We'll see what happens.
When we get to Thanksgiving, finally the Lions being good helps the Thanksgiving experience. The Cowboys are good. The Lions are good. We have good games all day. For a while, the Lions would suck, and we'd still have to watch them.
The holiday time is going to be wild. From November to New Year's, there's so much on, so much football.
So much NFL.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Christmas Netflix games. Do we know who's producing and announcing those yet? I feel like they're still figuring it out.
I have no idea. Do you know?
No, they're still trying to figure it out.
They really have no idea.
I mean, it's July or August right now, and Christmas is coming.
Don't know.
They don't know.
Green Bay Packers, 9.5 wins.
See, I think it's interesting comparing them to the Lions because the Lions roster is better. The Packers quarterback is better. I love what I saw from Jordan Love last year. I wasn't expecting that.
No,
I was very tough on Jordan Love. There are rants on our podcast of me taking on Jordan Love. I apologize. Sometimes we evolve and we change. And Jordan Love is him. Jordan Love is great. He made all these anonymous Packers receivers decent.
Yep.
I'm going over on the Packers. I think they beat the Lions in the division.
I went under for him.
Really?
I think it was like...
You don't love Love.
It was a little fluky towards the end. And yes, they were good, but were you confident in their wins?
Fluky. Adam LaFleur is like undefeated in November as the Packers head coach. That's a stat.
It's cold in Green Bay, okay?
That's kind of cool.
I didn't have many notes on this one. I was like kind of out on him. Like Packers... It seemed like Love got a little mojo towards the end, but it was like kind of crushed. Who they played the Lions, right? Before they were about to get into the playoffs, or no?
Right before, and they lost.
Yeah,
right?
and they lost.
Sounds right.
So I don't know. I don't love what's going on there. Could you name another receiver on that team?
That's the thing. Jordan Love just brings them all up. He elevates them all.
Okay, we'll see what happens.
You're going under on the Packers. By the way, we mentioned Thanksgiving. This year, the Dolphins go to Green Bay on Thanksgiving night. That's terrible for me as a Dolphins fan. That's like a very bad deal. To have to send Tua to the cold at night on Thanksgiving, I'm not thankful for that matchup.
Minnesota Vikings, 6.5 wins. Over under on them.
That's really low for a talented team with Justin Jefferson. They don't have Kirk Cousins. You know who they do have? I should have added this guy to. Do you know where
Sam
they play?
Darnold.
You knew that one. We like Sam Darnold. We're Sam Darnold people.
Listen. The notes I have here are like you have a new QB. You got to learn the system. You're not going to come out burning flames. And they already talked about Sam Darnold. How like it might be the steal of the century for them to have him on their team.
Yeah.
So if Sam Darnold starts, it could be a whole different thing. And we don't know yet, and that's why the number's 6.5. So if you think this is an over, which I went under on it,
you did.
Yeah.
You don't believe he'll start, or you don't believe in him?
I guess it's hard when you get a first-round pick. You want to play him and see what's going on. You're paying him. You're not paying him a ton of money, but you're paying him money for a first-round pick, right? It's a couple.
But J.J. McCarthy might not be very good, so it would be very wise for the Vikings to bring him along slowly.
But I don't know. Sometimes it's like throw him out there and see what happens. Some guys thrive. Some guys work it out. We saw in Carolina it didn't work out, but we saw in Houston it did, and CJ thrived and he was good.
Are you saying we just don't know how these quarterbacks are until they start playing?
Yes, that's why I think none of this really matters. And I said, like, what? Out of the top 10 picks, like, we're going to get, like, one good player, right?
Yeah.
Maybe. It could be more.
One good quarterback, especially. The quarterbacks rarely hit. I agree they shouldn't rush J.J. McCarthy, and I didn't love that pick. I think Sam Darnold's a solid kind of bridge guy. They still have Jefferson. They finally signed him to a long-term deal.
Jeremy, when's the last time you saw Sam Darnold play a full game?
With the Niners, I thought he was better than Purdy. I was calling for him to bench Purdy and bring in Sam Darnold. If Purdy got hurt last year, maybe the Niners would have won the Super Bowl against the Chiefs.
All right.
I'm a Sam Darnold guy. I'm going over on the Vikings. Of all the numbers you've given me, one of my favorites so far is over Vikings. 6.5.
Put money on it. All right, we're going to the NFC East. We got the Dallas Cowboys.
Nice.
10.5. All I have to say here is they brought back Zeke. They're running it back to 2018 or something. Zeke is back on the team. I'm going under on the Dallas Cowboys.
I thought you got excited that 18 Cowboys were good. Zeke was running laps around people.
I'm out. It's kind of like you can't redo the magic you had at some point. Zeke is no longer that guy. Zeke's done. I don't know why he's back.
Wow.
I hate it. I hate what they're doing over there. I know you have love for all the guys on the Cowboys.
Not all, just some.
But I just think it's a mess, and they're never going to win. And, yeah, they have CeeDee Lamb, but what else do they got?
The mess started the day the season ended for the Cowboys, when the whole world thought Mike McCarthy was going to be fired and Jerry Jones would start over. And he brought him back. And ever since then, it's been an offseason of disarray. Dak is still waiting to get signed. CeeDee Lamb is waiting to get signed. Zeke Elliott is back. They added nothing to their defense. What is Jerry Jones doing? He is asleep at the wheel in his final years on earth. That's a terrible situation.
I keep seeing clips of him online that are like, oh, we're really looking at everything out there. We're really trying to get it all together here. And we got a great team. It's like he's delusional. And I don't understand what's going on.
Because it's the same team as last year with the same dumbass coach as last year.
I know.
If there's one thing we can agree on.
Yeah.
The Cowboys will be under those wins this year.
New York Giants, 6.5. You want me to start here?
They got your boy Drew Lock. Are you excited about him?
They thought Drew Lock was going there in the intention of starting. So you never know. It could happen.
Yeah.
I am going over here.
Oh.
I like the feistiness of all the quarterbacks that played last year. The Italian guy. I like
Tommy
DeVito.
Yeah.
I liked what was happening, and they still snuck out a few wins. 6.5 doesn't seem crazy.
Yeah.
I'm going over here. All I had, my notes were that. I thought they played well last year. I'm going over on this season.
Don't know. Is it Drew Lock? Is it Daniel Jones? Is it DeVito? Which one of them is getting you to 7 wins? I have a hard time picturing any of them.
I don't know. And their tight end just retired.
Darren
right?
Waller.
Yeah.
He wasn't doing much recently.
No, that bad.
Did they ever add a good receiver? Maybe in the draft they did. Malik Neighbors. They did add a receiver finally. They lost Saquon. Maybe they won't be forced to run the ball with Saquon anymore. Maybe that can be a positive.
Well, they should have ran.
They were pretty good at that.
Yeah, I don't know who the running back is now, so that's probably a downfall.
That's right, because their rushing offense won't improve and their passing offense won't improve. Their defense...
You're making me reconsider this.
Yeah, I'm going under on the Giants. I don't like what I'm seeing there. Brian Daboll is probably in his last days as the Giants head coach, I would say.
The Philadelphia Eagles, 10.5.
We established Saquon went there. Jalen Hurts has the biggest thighs in the world. The Bush push will be...
2 big thighs.
Barkley's going to come and push him. That's 4 big thighs.
That's a lot of thighs.
It's kind of like us.
Yeah, we got big thighs. You can see it.
I don't like the Eagles investing in the running game. They already did that well. Invest in the passing game, which held them back last year. They weren't getting A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith the ball enough in the passing
Mostly
game.
Devontae. A.J. was pretty good for fantasy.
They gave him a new contract, too.
Yeah.
They weren't themselves passing the ball. The year before, they were unbelievable. They weren't unreal last year. They came out with a whimper. They lost some big games. I don't like their off-season strategy of investing in Saquon over other weapons. I'm going under on the Eagles.
I was hoping they would do a little bit more, but 10.5 feels about right. If this is a Super Bowl caliber team, some teams are going to have 15, 17. They're going to go 15 wins, 13 wins.
Some will.
So out of the whole NFC, the Eagles are really the only one I could see get to 13. So I put over. I feel comfortable with that, but I don't like it. But I just feel like that could happen.
The Niners and the Eagles are on a collision course again for the playoffs. It keeps happening. I think it's going to happen again.
Good. Washington Commanders, 6.5 wins. What do you think about this?
They were bad last year, and there's a reason they were the 2nd overall pick. I feel like there's weapons on the offense. Jalen Daniels at LSU, didn't watch much of him. Can't tell you much about him. He's their starting quarterback. I'm going to go over because I've had a lot of unders here. I think they surprised some people. I think their roster's better than picking number 2 overall. They can win 7.
I'm going under. New QB, new system. I don't like rookie QBs coming in unless they're
Ron Rivera's not there anymore, at least.
Who's the coach? I know Ron's not there.
Who is the coach?
We don't know who the coach is. That whole organization's a mess. So whatever they're doing, people just want to get
Terry
at it.
McLaurin still exists.
Scary Terry's still there?
He's still there.
Good for him. He's not getting the ball this year.
I don't know many of their weapons. They might have a worse roster than I'm picturing. I feel like on defense, there's a lot of guys I don't know their names, but they're good.
Yeah, well, that's what happens. They actually traded away one of their best players last season.
Dan Quinn is their head coach. How weird is that?
Former
Seahawks, former Falcon. He's the one who lost that 24-3 game with Brady in the Super Bowl.
Oh.
Kind of a choker.
Well, he learned his lesson.
Remember the Commanders actually wanted the Lions offensive coordinator, Ben Johnson. We all thought he was going to go there. Then he took his name out, and they got screwed because all the other coaches got hired. That's a reason to go under, but I'm still going over.
Now, listen, this is our NFC, AFC. This is our NFC version of over-under. We're going to do AFC after this, but also in a few weeks, I'm going to start doing our little survivor pools and all that, and we're going to bring out the, what's it called? all my information on all the gambling, all the stats. I didn't want to weave any in here of like new coaches, don't bet on them, and don't do this, and Belichick.
Yes, I love
Belichick's not there anymore, so we have to erase.
You have a lot of data and stats for betting. Typically, you kind of raw dog this a little bit.
I know there's stuff on here, but not a lot of data to back it up. Yeah. It's just more. Not a lot of people bet over unders, and it is kind of crazy. Like you're going to put $1,000 on the Bears to win over the season. Yeah. That'd be crazy.
By the way, this is somewhat inspired by Bill Simmons and Cousin Sal. I was with Cousin Sal recently. I was hanging out with them on a recent Sunday. Shout out Cousin Sal. We're down at the Sony lot just hanging out.
Nice.
Shout out to him for inspiring us with this, and hopefully we can put this podcast out before him so we can beat him this
so that's it for the NFC over-unders. Next show will be the AFC, and hopefully we win some money this season.
Talk about the Dolphins on that show. Oof.
Can't wait.